All right, here we are in the distribution panel. You see your stereo up top, the CD changer, your generator switches here. Right now, if you're going to start I'm just going to start and go through the full panel, and then we'll go through starting up to go out, and then coming back and hooking back up. So to start the generator, you're going to warm it up. That preheat, hold that for 20-30 seconds or so, and then you're just going to push it to start. You'll always want to turn on your bilge blower anytime before you start that generator. You're starting an engine in an enclosed space, so you want to run that blower. And then you're also going to turn the generator on. You'll hear that beeping sound. That tells you that you have the generator on, but it's not running right now. So in case it runs out of gas, or something like that happens, it will beep like that to tell you. So you warm it up, you preheat it, and then you push it to start it up. You can hear it cranking up right now. So that's the generator. Go ahead and let it settle in, and then just push it to stop. You'll hear that beeping come on again. Turn it off, and then you can turn your blower switch off as well. The voltage, your voltage test is the next one. That will check your port, your starboard engine. It defaults to port, and you'll see the volts right there. You can see it adjust a little bit. What's coming off the port side batteries, what's coming off the starboard side batteries, and where that voltage is, where those batteries are sitting. Then you have your port and your starboard batteries and your gen battery to turn on and off there, or energize and de-energize is what they call it. Your water level, you'll push that to check your water level when your system is on. And you can see once those are on, got 3/4 full, which actually I'm going to run that out before Ted comes to haul it. On the right side, all of the red switches are on your battery systems. Okay, so you've got cabin lights, stereo, fresh water pump, refrigerator, head system, discharge pump, port vents, or I'm sorry, power vents, which are your fans at your helm or at your galley, and in the head compartment, the accessory, and then the port and starboard engines. Those are actually the ignition switch. So turn those on, and when you see the red, that means it's on. Accessory, power vents, all that's coming off the battery. Some are coming off the port battery, some are coming off the starboard battery, right there. And then to switch them off, just flip them all right down the road. As far as what to leave on, it's really dependent on how you want to do it. Cabin lights, stereo, the fresh water pump, I would encourage you to turn that off anytime you're not on the boat, just in case a hose bursts or something. The pump, it's not pumping water into the boat. The refrigerator, I like to leave the refrigerator on all the time. Head system, discharge pump, only when I'm on the boat using them. And those power vents, the same thing. Just when I'm on the boat is when I prefer to use those. Do whatever works for you. Once those are on as well, you can see the discharge and the switch to discharge the waste in the head system. You will also see it's empty right now, but there's a full line as well that shows you when you're half, and then the do not flush. All right, so here we're gonna be going out. We're plugged in, and we're gonna head out for the day. So this is the first thing that you're gonna want to do. Is I always start at the source, or I'm sorry, at the system, and I shut down so you can power off the AC. You can see that power down. That's the big one. The microwave, the TVs, those are typically going to be off. The TV's running off battery power, so that doesn't matter. And then I'm going to turn down, so I shut off the system, then I shut it off at the panel, microwave, outlet, refrigerator, AC converter, and the air conditioner and the bilge heater. So once those are all off, now I'm powered down in my panel. Now I want to power down my shore power, turn those off right there. And now what I'm going to do is go disconnect the shore power cables from the dock, put those away. I'm not going to go out there because it's raining out and kind of nasty, but I always unplug from the electrical source, unplug from the dock first. And if I'm gonna put the cables back on the boat, I just put them away. If I'm gonna leave the cables on the dock, I still unplug from the dock first, and then unplug from the boat and leave them on. I don't ever want to have electricity in those cables as I'm maneuvering them, just kind of a safety thing. Okay, so that's pretty simple. To power back up, what I'm gonna do is we're at anchor, and we're gonna power back up those generators, okay? So everything's off. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up, turn on my blower, turn my generator on. I'm going to preheat it. And it just ran recently, so I don't need to preheat it all that long. And then hold that down, and it's going to crank right up. All right, I always wait couple of seconds and let that generator get fully charged up. And now I'm going to slide my little slides over so it opens up that generator switch. I'm going to turn my generator power on. Okay, so now I've got power coming into the system. Now I'm going to turn on the systems that I want. So my outlets, my refrigerator, my converter, and my air conditioning. Maybe I'm going to cook, I'll turn the microwave on as well. All right, so now those are on in the panel. I can see the amperage that it's pulling here. It's pulling just a little bit. I can see I've got my volts coming through the system on both sides. A little bit of amperage there. And now I'm going to go turn on my systems and work the opposite way, even on the generator. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'll show you this. You've got this remote control for the AC unit, so I can turn the AC unit on from here. I don't know if you heard that beep or not. And then I can go to mode. That is the auto fan, and that gets me to the AC. You can see the little snowflake right there at 70 degrees. So now that's on. I can use the microwave. I can use all the systems that I want to right now, okay? So we're done, ready to pull up anchor. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn this, work backwards, turn the systems off. You can see that powered down. Turn off everything else that's running off that gen power. I'm gonna come back over here to my panel. I'm gonna shut down my switches, turn all those off, air conditioning off. Then I'm going to take that power away from the generator, turn that off coming into the panel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop that gen. Turn that off. Turn my switch off to stop that alarm. And then turn my blower off. And now I'm ready to take off. I'm gonna come back to the docks, get back to the docks. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug my shore power cables in to the dock. I'm gonna come in, slide these over, because I'm gonna switch to shore power, check and make sure I don't have reverse polarity, make sure I'm green on both cables, which I am. Turn on. You can see the power's coming in on both sides. And now I'm going to turn on the systems that I want. Microwave, outlet, refrigerator, AC converter, air conditioning, and if it's wintertime, that bilge heater. Now I can go to my AC unit and I can turn that on. I like to use the remote. Once I found that it's easier than sneaking around the side. Click that, turn that fan on, little snowflakes on there, and now my AC pops right back on, and you're all set. As far as when you're leaving the boat for the night, if you're leaving the boat for the weekend, whatever it is, I'm going to leave on, I prefer, and everybody has their own system, but I prefer to leave my cabin lights on because I have two little switches right here for my cabin lights. These two. I like to do this right here, is if I leave, let's see here, there we go. If I leave the one switch on, I get these little accent lights. So if I ever come down to the boat in the evening time, those are on. It's not pulling very much. It's not leaving a lot of light, but it's easy to find what I need. Let me turn everything else back on. Sorry about the camera work here. I'm not Quentin Tarantino, but hopefully the points are coming across. So I like to leave my cabin lights on, stereo off, freshwater pump off like we talked about. Refrigerator, you can leave that on, depends on if you leave stuff in the refrigerator. Now this is the battery switch for the refrigerator. You also have a switch on the shore power cable, but if power ever goes off, the battery will kick in if you have that on and keep things from spoiling. Head system, discharge pump, power vents, accessory off. Remember, those power vents are the vents for the galley and the vents for the head compartment. That's what the power vents are. Accessory, port ignition, starboard ignition off, and keys off. Pull the keys if you want to. On the shore power section, microwave off, outlets probably off, unless you have a fan or something set up that you want to run off there. Refrigerator ice maker on if you leave things in. If you probably know this from the houseboat, but if you leave the refrigerator